Series, of course, it's an important game this one between Sri Lanka and South Africa, and it's Dambulla is the venue. Of course, an important game for South Africa. They're 2-0 down in the series and have to win this one to stay in the hunt. Now, perhaps a little bit of surprise that South Africa didn't change their side at all. They've unchanged. Herschel Gibbs in the lineup of failing the first couple, and Sri Lanka very much the same, unchanged for me to line up, and they're playing very well. South Africa won the toss and chose to bat on a track which looks a beautiful one for batting. You can see that it looks a little bit on the dry side perhaps, and I'm sure both teams, both captains, had they won the toss, would have been very keen to have a knock first. Okay, let's join the action and pick up the highlights with Ranger Fernando and Tony Greig.
Chaminda Vaas is a superb cricketer, and he'll be looking to swing it today. It looks like the breeze is it looks left to right out there, so it might help him a little bit. And straight away, just straightening down the line. Very important here that the South Africans get off to a good start, Ranger. They've had a tough time early on, and if they don't get off to a good start, they'll be in trouble again.
Yes, good afternoon, Tony. Good afternoon, all. Yes, I think the South Africans really need to get down to business here and get off to a start, purely because this is a type of pitch which probably might slow down later on, and say once batsmen settled in, particularly the openers, they could really look in terms of building on it.
As we said at the pitch report out there, that it was a little bit dry. Just watch this, the very first delivery here, and this one hits the seam. And let's just see if we can pick up anything here. Just a little bit of a puff. It must have hit a crack out there, and that a little bit disturbing for the very first ball of the match. I said it was dry, and I think the ground staff played away on the onside. That's well played. This is a lovely outfield. Into the gap, away down to the wide log on boundary. Jai Surya is the fieldsman down there, and it's a big ground this one. They're having to relay it back. Oh, that's close. That's got to be close. Well, I've got to tell you, I'm not too sure why that was not out. A leg bye is given. There's no bat there, and the umpire saying that it must have been missing the stumps. Pitching outside leg, is he saying? Let's have a look. Oh, I've got to tell you, how's that not out? For me, that pitch is middle and leg. It's middle and leg. I thought that he was indicating there, the umpire, that it pitched outside leg stump. Not out is the call. Oh, I tell you what, Chaminda Vaas unlucky not to have got Gibbs 9 times.
Yeah, I think my first instinct was that it may have taken the bat, but the very fact that it was a leg bye, it was pad, it pitched on line, it was certainly hitting middle and leg. And Chaminda Vaas certainly would have reasons for being grieved.
Well bowled and well run too. They've really got to run these singles, and that was just dropped on the offside. Smith was very late in getting off or getting out of the block there. Gibbs on his way, very fast is Gibbs. It just gives you some idea of the lack of confidence at the moment in the South African lineup. Early on, take all those runs, get moving.
It's good to see that the South Africans are a bit tensed up. They are sort of negative in their approach, which is very unlike them. They're usually a very positive looking side, and it's certainly a lack of confidence.
Just keep rotating the strike, and the end of the over, it's 8 for none. In the air, oh, and wide of him. That could quite easily have gone to him, but it's a beautiful drive for 4. Little uppishly played, but it's gone like a rocket to the fence. And so it seems that Gibbs is going to try and hit himself out of trouble.
It's more like the Gibbs we all know of, that really hit the meat of the bat, wide off the fielder, which was placed just before that delivery. Took his chances, it went up in the air. But as you would see, I think he's decided that he needs to play his shots, probably make use of that opportunity he's already been given. And this might really pay off.
Steered away on the offside, and they'll get a single there as well, so that's better. Just a little bit wide of him as Herath does the fielding. It's just before I finish on those tomatoes, Ranjit, that Lodge Habarana, the food is superb. You go around Sri Lanka and take it for granted the food's going to be good, but boy, their service in their restaurant, wonderful. Food, absolutely superb. One of the best buffets that I've ever experienced, and of course they've got the benefit, as you said, of all these wonderful fresh vegetables around here. Their king prawns, 10 out of 10. Over bowl, that's a beautiful delivery. Beats the outside edge that time, 13 for none. Oh, he's hit that. That's got a long way. That's going to be 6, way back into the crowd. Fantastic shot by Gibbs. I think this is the way to go. He's got to get stuck in here, play a few shots, hit himself out of trouble, and who knows, that may result in South Africa getting off to a good start.
He certainly did well this time. Gibbs took his chances with that ball moving into his pads, and this he really made good. It's perfectly timed.
Oh, well bowled. Very well bowled. That one went straight through, hit the edge, and was nicely fielded by Jawad in the slips.
There's Shamidawaz again showing the maturity he has. He's hit for 6, but certainly doesn't lose his nerve. And again, just a slow delivery and getting the outside edge. Again, Gibbs really no balance whatsoever in playing that shot. Just head falling over.
Six runs off this over so far. Just the big hit. And a long run again. They should have got a single there, but not very confident with the quarter. 19 for none.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Did you notice that there are so many different prices out there for the exact same room? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. So instead of searching for hours or spending too much, Trivago makes it easy for you to find the ideal hotel for the best price. Just go to Trivago, type in where you want to go, and with 2 clicks, select your check-in and check-out dates and search. It's that simple. Trivago searches hundreds of websites at the same time and shows you the most popular hotels. You can adjust the price so that it fits in with your budget, or select the number of stars, or filter by average guest ratings from over 100 million reviews. Remember, Trivago shows you all the different prices for the exact same room. And that's how you can be sure that you find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
With the big dog on his trail,
Roman Reigns has got a championship opportunity.
How will the champion respond?
The clock may be ticking on the reign of Kevin Owens.
Raw.
WWE Raw in association with Denver, the real scent of success, and Sonata SF, a Tata product.
Sometimes to try and avoid the... There's a half an appeal, but that's sometimes to try and avoid the wide, which they failed to do.
Yes, there's definitely some sort of connection with the pad. Interesting that the wide was called. Certainly a loud noise through the stump mics. I think we all might have heard that when we might be watching this broadcast. Run rate over 3.5 at this stage, South Africa, after they won the toss and elected to bat.
Down the wicket, missed it. Did all the hard work. Good idea, got into a good position, wanted to hit it, I think, straight back over his head. And maybe shut the face a bit early, or perhaps did he get too close to it? A bit of both, I think. Good thinking from Gibbs.
Well, it was quite interesting also at the toss. Graham Smith said to Tony Greig that they need to relax a bit. I got the impression, I'd read into that he thinks that the South African side have been playing a little bit too hard at the moment. And maybe that's exactly what Gibbs was attempting to do with that waltz down the track. Just to play his natural game, play his shots, look to go over the top in the innings, which is something he's always done.
This time it's Smith's turn to improvise, and it very nearly carried to mid-wicket. As it is, the commitment from the fielder has allowed the ball to go for 4. Tillakaratne Dilshan, the man there, it's not an easy decision to make. Do I dive forward and take this in the teeth, or do I stand back and make sure it doesn't go for runs? He decided on the former, paid the price.
And he slipped a little bit as well. Bit of an awkward bounce. Graham Smith not taking full control of the bat with that shot, and just a bit of a hop.
Oh, that's good running. That's very good running.
They've done that so well so far in this match. Good understanding. There's a little nod from Graham Smith. The important thing about it is the fact that there's no hesitation whatsoever. Gibbs was undecided, and he looked up and Smith said, let's go through. So that's a single off Nuwan Zoysa. And a single is quite important, I would imagine, for Nuwan Zoysa these days, because he's no longer single.
For 2, huge boundaries here. That's good running from Smith, as long as he gets in, of course, which he does. But he was stretched at the end there. But it's a very big field, quite difficult to defend. And positions such as third man and fine leg, you've not only got to get your angles right, you've also got to be far enough off the rope in order to make sure that you save 4, bat save the 2. This might have been a bit tight if it had been direct. No, it's got in easy.
Smith certainly looked to launch that one through the covers. So an indication of his intent also.
It's interesting, just after that too, Marvan Atapattu actually signalled to Chaminda Vaas and said, I want you in closer when the ball's delivered, further off the rope. He's a good, probably just under 10 metres off the rope now. By the time the ball is let go, he'll be closer to 15. Something that no doubt the South Africans would have noted as well. In the air, over extra, 4 more. Herschel Gibbs enjoying this very much. He hasn't enjoyed this sort of innings for a long time.
Enjoy is the key word. Obviously, he's out here to make an impact today, to play his natural game. For balls there, I think those who have watched Herschel Gibbs over the years, a ball in that sort of region, even though it was the bottom of the bat, we've seen him play that many shots in that fashion throughout the years. Scooping it over top of covers, and he's got himself another boundary. That's his second 4. He's got 1-6. And Marvan was a little bit surprised, thought he was in the game for a small moment.
Every now and again, there's some extraordinary bounce from this pitch. 2 or 3 deliveries we've seen the batsman play and then release the right hand off the handle. Now, is that the ball disturbing the surface of the pitch, or is it just a little bit of extra effort?
It's the former. It's just going through the top occasionally here at Dambulla. We saw the very first ball of this game do the same, and that one from Newens also just went through the top.
42 for no wicket.
I think also what we've seen, and I don't think that particular delivery from Minivas went through the top, although we have seen a few so far. That last one certainly bounced, and I think you'll find it also wrapped Graham Smith on the glove area as well as a bit of bat. Can't get those bars on Smithy at the moment. Let's have a look and see about the extra bounce here. See if there was any, no disturbance at all, but definitely some extra bounce.
Smear, but they've got a man back there now. After that Dilshan front foot sweep, I think I was a little unfair to call it a smear. Cricket from Roger Gibson switched in activity off the park. That looks like one of our cameramen just had a bit of time off. Oh no, it's not actually. Yeah, Jack, you can take those moves down, mate, and take them back to Cape Town. Once was a time, you know.
I believe your thousands really.
Gibbs trying to go over the top. He's mishit it. Good catching. Graham Smith looking to go down the ground. And Sanat Jayasuriya is the man who's made ground to his right and taken an excellent catch.
That was peculiar, rather. Graham Smith has once or twice already looked to go down the deck. It was a very good grab in the end by the former skipper. But it was certainly an interesting dismissal. Have a look at where it hits on the bat. Quite high up on the bat. That's the reason it didn't go very far. He was looking to go a little bit straight at that initially, I think. But very good grab by Sanat Jayasuriya, and that is an important wicket for Sri Lanka. They've got rid of the skipper, and he's on his way for 16. South Africa now 44 for 1.
That's a beautiful shot. It's not a big one, but what good timing. Straight down the ground for 4. It's big in terms of how many runs he's been awarded, but what a sweetly played stroke.
Certainly was. He's on a roll now, Herschel. He's got off. He's faced 39 balls, 27 not out. This is his third 4. Good movement of the feet. Just moved that left toe a little bit, opened up the foot a fraction of the last minute, so the back could come through. Good shot indeed. Found the gap, and found the gap between Lance Kluse's legs as well.
Klusen scored 771 runs in 24 innings at number 3, or 24 matches at number 3. I'm presuming that would make it 24 innings. An average of 36 and 3/4 near enough for the century and 5 50s. His career average is 42. There he goes, the various batting positions. And just we'll bring up the South African 50. It's quite an interesting chart that we just saw. Here we go. The average is nicely at number 9, 113. But 6 is the one that interests me. Batting at 6, 41 the average is. Career average of 42.
You could also look at number 8. I mean, over 1,000 runs at number 8, averaging 64.25. And yes, those stats look great. That looks very impressive. But how many times have we seen Lance Klusener come to the crease in that sort of position, run out of partners, and therefore run out of time to win a game for South Africa? I like this number 3 stop. We were told at the beginning of this series we'd see it at some stage. We're seeing it today in Dambulla. I was wrong. I said we wouldn't see too many big shots from him until he got to double figures and started pushing it around a little bit. He hasn't got off the mark, and he's gone for the big waft. Most unlike Lance Klusener when he first comes to the crease. He normally just plays nice and sedately for 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes. And then looks to launch.
Well, this always took a little bit of pace off that. It wasn't that blatantly obvious in the replay, but it didn't carry through to the keeper all that well. Bowled him out. So that little experiment is all over. And South Africa lose their second wicket.
That was a slower ball. 115.1 k's per hour, that last delivery from Nuwan Zoysa. Just rolled the fingers across it and bowled basically a quick left-arm orthodox delivery, if you like, and just came back a fraction. And that's all you need. Very good work from Nuwan Zoysa. Of course, he was outstanding. Man of the match in the second one day up. He's taken care of a real danger man, Lance Klusener. Hasn't got off the mark. And the second wicket down now, 50 runs on the board. Experiment failed.
Same hotel, same pool.
Jacques Kallis, a very impressive one-day international career, 199 matches, 7,000 runs at a 45 average, well, nearly 46.
Chance for a run out. If he hits, it's good night, and it's a dive and saved. A home at first.
Yeah, he missed the stumps. You're dead right. If he hit the stumps there, it was all over. So that's definitely an error. What a mix-up. These guys haven't run well between the wickets at all. There's been a lot of stuttering. Just watch this. Looks up, no, says Kallis. Gibbs is over halfway down the pitch. I mean, if they'd gone straight away, easy run. But really, it just seems to me that a few of these combinations are just a little unsure of each other.
It's always a bit difficult trying to pinch a single, particularly on the area where Zoysa follows through on that side. But I still think those little ones are the call from Gibbs, really. He's running to the danger end. But anyway, single off there, 51 for 2.
Good operator, and Zoysa down the other end is backing him up really well these days. It does make a huge difference. Zoysa's gone for 30. Voss just a little bit more economical, gone for 20, and they both got a wicket. So 52 for 2. South Africa winning the toss this morning. Very happy that happened, and they're batting first. Batting first in lovely Dambulla. It is a very picturesque part of the world. We flew up here in one of those Sri Lankan Airlines aeroplanes that came zooming in over the top of this part of the world. It's actually quite interesting. Sri Lankan Airlines reckon that they're going to be going all over this country, landing on the big lakes and tanks, as they call them, all over this place. It'd be easy to get to them. In the air, oh, he dropped it. He should have caught that. Jayawardene going to his left there. The ball was in the air, standing quite deep. The ball now has gone for 4. That adds insult to injury. But it was in the air. They've threatened to nick one in that direction. And when they did, it didn't go to hand.
Yes, it was like our flight yesterday. It was in the air for a while. And sure enough, there he just got maybe a little... Well, he should have got to it. whether or not he should have taken it, but he only got a little finger. He's laid on it, and he tried to run it down there. You're looking for trouble if you do that. And I tell you what, I've seen him take a couple of great catches on this ground, Jayawardenep.
Oh, he's driven that one beautifully. The sweeper's back there, and he'll pick it up, so they'll get two. Reaching for it, Luca Arachi, the fieldsman down there. At the end of the over, it's 59 for 2. Right, so let's see how Dilshan settles in early on. They're going to really fiddle around with their spinners. You can see that Jayasuriya's got first use. Dilshan's there. They've got Upul Chandana, bowl leg spinners as well. So they'll probably just see how they go early on. And if they go well, probably give them an extended bowl. If they don't, they'll be ringing the changes. Gibbs, 34 not out.
Well, we mentioned before the match started, didn't we, Tony? This ground has just got better and better with age. It really is one of the, well, I think the best cricket ground here in Sri Lanka at the moment. Might lack a little bit of tradition, obviously, because it's new, but I tell you what, the ground is just, the surface of the ground just reminds me of Perth. It's absolutely pure. Such a big ground too. There's a lot of opportunities here for batsmen to pinch a lot of twos, particularly work on the opposition fielding skills. I'll get one there, probably off the pad. And it is. And on these big grounds, that's where you test out the opposition fielding skills. And Sri Lanka have been questionable in certain areas in that. And I'll tell you, in the last 6 months or so, they are not now. They've got good arms, they're quick to the ball. I'll tell you what, they're always attacking, cutting off angles. Very good arms. A lot of teams in the past from the subcontinent normally have had weak arms. Well, they haven't now, particularly this team. That's why they're number 2 in the world, Sri Lanka.
Wide of mid-wicket, so last ball of the over. They'll think of a second, but won't take it. 3 runs off the over, 63 for 2.
We'll get one there. Another one there down the ground.
Our commentators and cameramen, they've got the best seat in the house. Right down the bowler's line there. Dilshan continuing now with his off spinners. So another single, lots of chat out there. Sangakkara very often is the guy who leads the chat. He tries to keep them on their toes.
Yeah, it's just starting to get a bit of a worry for me for South Africa, the fact that Dilshan and Jayasuriya starting to get a good partnership between these two and bowling very well. Some are turning, some aren't. Call it natural variation, call it what you want, but they're just starting, they've settled straight on the line and length, and they haven't given any freebies, have they? There's nothing there to smash through the covers or cut through backward point. Right on line they have. They've been outstanding.
An extended appeal. But I think he was a little optimistic. Long way down there, probably outside the line. Let's see if we can pick up here what happened. Yeah, probably just outside the line and a long way down the pitch. No is the call. Quite right too. In comes the throw. 67 for 2.
Just how difficult it's been for the visitors to accelerate it all. For far too many overs, that white line has been going from west to east horizontally without climbing at all.
Yeah, Finley gets starting to dip now. 6 runs per over from now. They only get 207. But they're starting to hit a few targets. Now they're running the first one hard and should get back. Good turn. Very good turn made by Jacques Rudolph there at the keeper's end. And it's a little bit better, realising the fact that the fieldsman has to throw the ball into the wind. And they picked out Zoysa, of course. Why wouldn't you? Hit his target, found the gap there, and he's saying 2. Rudolph, no, straight away. Good turn. Run straight in and straight out.
Now they're pushing for 2 here. Again, the first one run fast. That's very good. Somebody's listening to Mr. Jones, and they've got... No, they haven't. Thought they were going to get an extra one.
Again, all of a sudden, ran the first one hard, but he ran right off the pitch like the Queen Mary. It was... He placed it well, weighted the shot. Jacques Rudolph. Now the projected run rate is 6 runs per over from now. It's gone down to 201. It's amazing how it just keeps coming down. I think this is a difficult pitch to bat on. We've misread it. There's no doubt we've misread it. I think it's a good toss to win. Right, Smith was happy for a while. First time I've seen a smile on his face.
Just wonder whether South Africa have misread it to the degree of their selection, whether maybe 2 spinners, Peterson and Boye, wouldn't have been a bad idea.
He can bowl himself, mate. Smithy, he can bowl himself. There's nothing wrong. He's not the worst.
More. Jacques Rudolph can roll the odd leg spinner out. Whether he would be asked to in limited overs cricket, I'm not quite so sure.
Here comes the wrong, and here comes at the back of the hand there. You see the ball being scrambled, and it will spin away. But he picked it very quickly. I would dare say one thing. Klusner might bowl off a shorter run here. And it's a pretty good over. 4 off at 128 for 3.
Another over from Giants Rear begins. That's well played. Should get a couple at least. It's gone well wide of the fielder down at deep fine leg. And 2 more to Rudolph, 2 more to South Africa, and 2 more commentators. Ranger Fernando, Mike Haston.
Thank you, Robin. They need to go at bang on 6 and over now to get that 200 mark, which is obviously going to be a tough call. And I'm sure that's where their target would be, 200. Maybe a fraction below that. Obviously depends on how far these 2 go. Partnership is now worth 40 runs, 64 balls.
Yes, Kallis in particular has occupied the crease for a reasonable amount of time. He's got 46 runs against his name, so he would have the confidence. He would be the man who really would guide Rudolph also through this stage of the innings.
Let's not make any mistake about the fact of how difficult it's been out there for these guys. That big turning ball, I heard Robin and Dean Jones also chatting about the options, the various spin options South Africa have. Obviously nowhere near the quality Sri Lanka have. These players are very good players, and Sun has done outstanding job over the years. JP Durman is another one who bowls at offies. Marvan just moving himself to the leg side from the offside. Obviously change of line.
Yes, there's no question about the fact that the South Africans just wanted to keep their wickets intact. They've learned from their previous games. They've wanted to stay till the end to try and launch, if possible, to get through the 6 or 8 runs in the last few overs.
He's the key, isn't he, Jacques Kallis? You just sense that. Certainly very good performance in the last game with the ball. Runs with the bat in the first. There's that reverse we've seen once or twice throughout this series so far, and he's got that away very well indeed. Has he got enough on it? Tillakaratne Dilshan is tagging it, and Jacques Kallis decides to come back for the 3rd.
This one gets the feeling that the intentions now are quite clear. They need to try and get those 6 to 8 runs in over. And Jacques Rudolph is innovating to do just that. That was well played indeed.
That's that shot that Dean Jones reckons should be illegal. I reckon personally it's such a a high danger shot, a high risk shot that if you're good enough to do that, good luck to you. Just the one though this time, leg side. So this is developing into a good over. 8 runs from it, still 1 ball remaining.
Because one needs to bring out one's best skills to do just this at this stage of the innings, particularly as the ball's turning around, it's slowed down. And you're also coping with a very intelligent bowler.
Tucked away, that's good. That's good for South Africa. Chase is on. Sanath Jayasuriya knows that wasn't the best of deliveries. Well, Jacques Rudolph looking for the third, but no, just the 2. So good over. Maybe that's the over they need to spark things. 10 from it, 138 for 3. There's the single to bring up the 50 for Jacques Kallis. Now that's his 49th 50 in his 199th game. He's also gone on to get 1200s. He's a wonderful player, this man. It's his 8th 50 against Sri Lanka and his 26th game against them. And he's got 2 centuries against this particular team as well. Very good knock so far, but he'll be only 2 aware. He's got more work to do.
He has, in fact, adjusted very well to the conditions.
Looking to go over the top. And I think maybe that's an indication of what's going to happen now, Ranjit. Jacques Kallis is probably going to look to bat as many overs as possible here and try and get through to 50. And his mate at the other end, in this case it's Rudolph, is going to look to launch a bit.
It's going over the top. We need to get as close as possible, just giving that little room for the elevation as this pitch pulls back. But Kallis has got this uncanny ability to adjust to situations. He certainly would. He might consider this as one of his better innings in one-day cricket, although it's been a laboured one.
Oh, he's unlucky there. No run, dot ball. You can hear that he's upset with it. 142 for 3. Look at what South Africa have done in the last 10 overs in the first 2 games as Tillakaratne has reintroduced into the attack. In game 1, South Africa scored 70 runs but lost 5 wickets. In game 2, they scored 55 runs and lost 3.
They have learned from their mistakes, the South Africans, in this game, and what is important, as we did mention earlier on, is that they don't lose their heads at this stage. They played real rash ones, because the singles are always there on offer, and which would mean that they would get to the 6 runs per over even at this stage.
Rudolph wanted 2 there. That was very good fielding. Chandler was the man that was screaming in. 8 fours and 1 6. 153 dots. That shows how well Sri Lanka have bowled, particularly in the middle. And particularly the spinners.
That was very well played by Kallis. Waited on that delivery, played so late, and as a result of it, was able to get it square. Sri Lanka is just continuing with those 4 men in the ring, and sufficiently on the leg side to play, cover the single.
Field placings are very good behind square on the offside. Dilshan obviously turning away from Rudolph. He's also very good in that area, but look at those 2 men very close. And Rudolph has to go extremely fine if he wants to get runs in that region with this sort of line. That's not a bad shot. It's gone. So Jacques Rudolph will feel very disappointed that he's got outplaying that stroke, but I reckon it was a pretty good call. Pitched in line, straightened, and I think the timber would have been disturbed.
Yes, this is what the South Africans didn't want at this stage. Rudolph certainly was able to do this previously against Dilshan, but on this occasion it's pitched in line and may have missed the leg stump, and I think Rudolph might consider himself a bit unlucky here. But he has to go, and up goes that cricket finger. So Rudolph goes LBW to Dilshan in the book, and ran 44 for 4.
certainly annoys. Yes, up goes that finger, so that is a huge wicket. Once again, it's a big turning delivery. And Jacques Kallis, who has been the main scorer today, also departs soon after. Jacques Rudolph.
And a big break for the Sri Lankans here. There was Kallis, who was expected to really step on this at this stage of the innings. But again, a big slash and a big nick. Sangakkara was certain that he's picked on that. And so was umpire Thiron Vijayawardena. Contemplated for a while, and up goes the finger. So Jacques Kallis' very good innings under trying conditions comes to an end for 52, 147 for 5.
With the departure of Rudolph and Kallis, they've lost 2 for 3 in 10 balls now. Correction, 4 balls. Sean Pollock to the crease. Strike rate's good, nearly 85. Average is reasonable. He does a lot of damage to the ball, of course, and he'll have his work cut out today with both bat and ball. Now, it's gone over the top. There were cries of catch it. And 2 runs the result.
Herath, not the tallest of the Sri Lankan fielders. He really had to leap for that, but just probably getting the tip of his fingers.
Yeah, I think that might have actually been hit into the ground. I'll have to have a closer look at that. Certainly rolled his wrists. Gee, that's a good shot. Straight to the man at forward square, Mahela Jayawardena.
Despite the turn, despite the slowness of the pitch, Boucher has played the... And there you are, this was that one that went over Herath's head. It probably came off the ground. He rolled his wrists over and hit the ground.
Looking for 2. Sean Pollock's call was 2. I don't think he's going to get 2, though. Be about 1 1/4. And back to your crease.
This Kaushal Lukwaraj is very, very quick across the turf. Got to it quickly. You could see that the South Africans are looking to try and convert the singles into 2s. So the Sri Lankans are alert to that fact.
That is another sweep shot for Mark Boucher. He scored that many runs, but I reckon about 95% of them have been in that region.
It's not the easiest of shots to play on a pitch like this, to sweep, purely because, particularly against ball spinning away, the leg spinners to the right-hander. But Mark Boucher has rolled his wrists over very neatly on these shots. And there he was. He's made all his runs in that region, nothing on the offside, and just nothing down to mid on as well.
So these two would have had a chat at the end of the last over and said, right, we've still got 6 overs to go. We're 2 balls into that, by the way, now. And they'll be thinking that maybe after 1 more over is the time to try and start hitting some boundaries. They need to get another 42 runs to get to where they would like to be, that 200 mark. Over the top of mid-wicket, and that has been slapped away for 4. Just a little bit too short that time from Chandana. And that is the first boundary in 12 overs.
Sean Pollock has been eyeing that area with a great deal of hunger, as you would see, and this time Chandana dragging it just that trifle short to enable to get on the back foot rather than on the front foot.
Cries of catch it, and it's gone. Just tried to put the bowler off his length initially, and also his line by just backing away at the last minute. Came back in line with the ball and then just spooned it straight to Dilshan, Tillakaratne Dilshan, in the short cover region. So that is a big blow for South Africa. Herath has been terrific. This is his 3rd wicket. 3 for 22 his return at the moment. And just picking out Dilshan, who just bends forward, gets the fingers underneath and takes the catch. So that's the 6th wicket down now for South Africa. And of course breaking an important partnership. So Mark Boucher it is. A little bit of a shake of the head from the vice-captain. He goes for 7. South Africa now 164 for 6. Time for the youngster to try and get some runs. He's 20 years of age in the commentary box. And there'll be Tony Gregg and Robin Jackman.
We see Lukuarachi. 3 overs, that's all. No wicket for 12. I'm sure he'd like to get himself a wicket here, or 2.
Oh, it's gone straight up in the air. Sangakkara under it. And makes no mistake, as he wouldn't. So Pollock now goes.
pretty average shot, really. First up, Pollock not really playing that sweep properly. You've got to come down on it and smash it if you're going to play it. Just watch this. It's a little help. He gets himself into position. There's a bit of turn there, and it goes straight up in the air, which it's more often not likely to do. There's a bit of spin there, and you're not used to it, especially if you're not a great sweeper of the ball. So Tillakaratne gets himself a wicket. End of Sean Pollock. It's 170 for 7.
Nicky Boyer comes in at number 9. Number 3 in the last game. Changing it around. That just might be out, and he's on a hat-trick. Tillakaratne's on a hat-trick. South Africa, having been 144 for 3, have now lost 5 wickets for 26 runs in 35 deliveries.
Good bowling by Tillakaratne. Pitches the ball on, turns down the line, and LBW. That was Pollock. It went straight up in the air off the top edge. It was caught nicely by Sangakkara. This is the LBW. Let's see where it pitches. Right on middle stump, straightens down the line. That is absolutely plumb LBW. Tillakaratne strikes for the second time in consecutive balls. Have a look at the reaction here. Yes, up he goes, and up comes the finger, the bent finger there of umpire Billy Bowden. And South Africa really are making a mess of this. 170 for 8.
Alan Dawson, the man who's come to the crease, 15 to his name in the last match, 0 to his name at the moment. And, some work to do. Tillakaratne on a hat-trick. Oh my goodness me! I was about to say the hat-trick balls don't really mean much in limited overs cricket, because I mean he's still got to score runs. How close was this?
Beautifully bowled. Obviously an overspinner there, and missed the off stump by an absolute fraction.
He's got that past the fielder. I don't know how much it was the fielder's fault, but whether the ball did a little bit just before him. But 4 valuable runs to South Africa and to Alan Dawson.
Oh, it's bad fielding by Herath. He's at backward point there. It was hit firmly at him, but at this level you've got to stop these.
The only thing he doesn't do is drive a team bus. Well, I bet he could. A slight misfield. Well played. Alan Dawson allowing the ball to come to him, playing it as late as possible. Stroke of a top order batsman.
There's Herath, the fieldsman down there, and it was a good shot. Just watch it. He plays it nice and late, the middle of the bat, and gets it fine. It looks to me as if Tillakaratne has decided it's leg spinners to the right-handers and off spinners to the left-handers.
It's a good stroke. Only be 1 though.
Yes, I think the Sri Lankans will be pretty satisfied with this. I'm sure they were disappointed when they didn't win the toss. The winning of the toss tends to come with, more often than not, come with winning of the match here. But they've done well in the field today. They really have. And I think the captain's done a pretty good job too. He seems to be maturing with this job. He loves it.
Dawson looking to play that little run shot that he played in the last over, but the ball turning into him instead of away from him. He did well in the end to just get a bat on it and a run.
Yes, just getting back to Atapattu. In charge here, very much in charge.
Just one. Tremendous vast fielder down at long on.
Atapattu, who is very critical of the fieldsmen. He really expects a lot from them. They work very hard. This is not an easy place to train. They do put time in.
Up in the air, man under it. Should catch it. And does. Made a bit of a meal of it, I sense, but he had a way to go off the rope. Steadied himself in the end and took a good catch.
There's Herath, the man down there, and took it very nicely at the end of the day, but I think he might have been swirling around in the breeze a little bit, and just for a second he looked as if he was going to mess it up. Again, I suppose, at this stage of the game you've got to really go for it. He did. Herath there going in a little bit too far, a little stutter there, and eventually he catches it two-handed. So that was nicely done. So the end of Dawson doing his level best, out for 11, 189 for 9.
Kayantini at the non-striker's end. Swept away by Boye. He really wants to try. If he can, he's going for it. I think the throw might have gone to the wrong end then. Anyway, safely back for 2. Santini shouldn't face a delivery. Not a good catch this from Herath. He had to make some ground off the rope, and then he arrived at the ball a bit sooner than he thought. And that's the last ball of the innings, and the end of the innings, conclusively, all out for 191. Tillakaratne, Dilshan the bowler, Sangakkara in the act again as the wicket-keeper, Nicky Boye the man dismissed.
Yeah, so that's 3 for 25 for Dilshan. He snuck in here and got himself some wickets. There go the bails. He got 4 for 52 on Sunday, so in the runs and getting some wickets as well, having a lot of fun playing.
Overs up, 191 all-out batting for South Africa, and they'll be a little bit disappointed with that because they lost 7 wickets for 49 the last 10 overs. With just Herschel Gibbs, who had some luck early, and Jacques Kallis getting some runs on the board. Now, if you look at the bowling Sri Lanka, it was absolutely superb. The spinners are outstanding, but the seamers did a good job up front, 8 overs apiece, and then enter the spinners, 3 wickets to Dilshan, and also Herath has won a couple to Makarachi off 5 overs. So the target, well, this is what they've got to do, Sri Lanka. They need 109.
Well, this will be low, so he's missed the stumps. Yep, they've got to hit the stumps. They practice that a lot, and those little opportunities arise. You get a run out early on, and all of a sudden the panic sets in. And Sri Lanka, boy, they've got to fix this running between the wickets.
JP Duminy there, he's attacked it, he's lined it up, and as he tried to throw it too hard, he's just missed. He's just missed.
Well, that's a good shot. He's hit that one through the offside field for 4. You cannot bowl just outside off stump to these two because they both just love them there.
Something about left-handers when they play a cover drive or a square drive, it just looks elegant, so elegant. Oh, that's just classical and pure. Look at the high elbow, good forward stride to the ball, opens the blade up, and the placement was perfect. His first boundary, first little punch thrown by Sri Lanka. Just going on a little bit more with Jonty Rhodes, there's no doubt that he's one of the best I've seen. He's up there with Roger Harper and Viv Richards that I've played with. And you talk about cover fieldsmen, there's been a few in the time that I've seen him, and here it is here, and we just lined it up there, and oh, look, it's just missed by a whisker right over the top of the stumps. But I'll say Ricky Ponting hit the stumps more. I thought Alan Border hit the stumps more. His tracker just shown how just an inch away. But then again, you could say, well, all right, those guys knocked the stumps over. But at least stopped a lot of runs as well.
Well, that's got to be out. Yes, up goes the finger. That's a beautiful delivery. That ball swung back a long way, and he was in a dreadful position. I think he was looking again to flay the ball through the offside field. It swung back in, plumb LBW. South Africa have struck, and they needed to early on. So you can see there, they carry on. They really appreciate the fact that they've got to do something here early on. Absolutely plumb LBW.
Well, you'd walk on that, and that's a big one. They needed a wicket to follow it up, and just saying bad luck, JP. You missed the stumps there by a little bit, but anyway, first big shot thrown by South Africa. Good on Water goes for 5. Sri Lanka 7 for 1.
Well, Marvan Atapattu now has arrived at the centre. The wides, they will come and go. Different sides, different bowlers having different problems. Well, that's well played. Straight down the ground. Good attacking shot. There's a lovely fast outfield, of course. And, well, if you hit the ball like that and it gets through the field, it's always going to be 4.
The shot of the match for me. Just absolutely brilliant. You can see he likes the ball swinging away from him a little bit here. It's a ball that pitched, would have knocked a lot of guys over, but he actually hit the ball on the up, full face of the bat. Perfect timing. Oh, that's just beautiful, isn't it? Nothing better than a great straight drive like that, and particularly to get yourself off the mark.
As he hit it back from exactly where it came from. And into the gap again. What a cover drive. Marvan Atapattu not scared to play his shots. He's adopted this positive philosophy, which is one of the hallmarks of Sri Lankan batting. And it's a pleasure to watch when they get going.
Yeah, just a beautiful shot. Look at the footwork. Good stride at it. Hits the ball in front of the pad, finds the gap and goes away. Well, Tony, I think it's time now. I know he got the breakthrough, but Untini knocked him over in the last match. And he nips the ball back on him. I'll be bringing him on straight away.
Yes, well, he's got his wicket. He's done what they expected him to do. He's obviously got it with a swinger as well, which is, again, what it was all about. So I don't disagree. I think a little bit of extra pace and bounce. It's amazing how it has that effect. And also the outswinger to the right-hander, he's got to start it straight, and sometimes that ends up going straight down the line. This is the dismissal that Dean Jones is talking about.
Yeah, he bowled really well. He just clipped him there behind square. The only problem is, Tony, is that the wind, is Dawson's bowling into the wind here. And Mackay Untini is a down-the-wind bowler to me, and Sean Pollock, with all of his guile and experience, has picked the right end. He doesn't have to push into it. There they are. There's the flags. It tells you it's a good wind, isn't it, he's bowling into. Interesting time as a captain. What does Graham Smith do now?
Oh, he's flayed that over the top for 4. Bouncing down to the boundary. 14 runs off that over. 24 for 1.
Untini. He gets driven through the covers as well. That's 4 more to the Sri Lankan captain.
What an exhibition of driving we're seeing here from Marvan Atapattu. 2 magnificent drives in the last over from Alan Dawson, and now Mackay Untini comes in the attack. The other night, or the other day rather, his first ball he picked up a wicket. This time someone's got to pick it up from the gutter. Terrific shot from Marvan Atapattu. I don't think he's happy.
Drive balls. That was what he said. Big appeal. That's what Jones was looking for Untini to produce. But obviously there's one thing that irritates Graham Smith more than anything else, and that is bowlers that bowl what he calls drive balls, i.e. balls that can be driven on the up or half volleys. Let's look at this.
Outside the line, just marginal. Played a shot. That was the excuse that the umpire gave. Just outside the line, he said. Graham Smith was a bit astounded. Mackay Untini got the big appeal with a good comeback delivery.
Noisy crowd now. Get noisier. What a great shot. Outstanding. So poised, so balanced. So good.
And so much time. Magnificent shot from son of Jayasuriya. We have seen him so many times throughout the years get runs in this region. This would have formed a great deal of the team chat. So the South Africans don't bowl there, they would have said. And that's why. Outstanding stroke.
In the air, and well caught by Gibbs. Now that is a big, big wicket for two reasons. A huge threat is out in Sanat Jayasuriya, and B, Sean Pollock goes to 300 wickets in one-day internationals, along with over 2,000 runs. Only the second person to ever achieve that, the other being Wasim Akram.
Extra bounce, that's what undid him, and Herschel Gibbs won't drop those. You get two hands to it. But Sean Pollock, what an outstanding career he's had, and he's a long time from finishing, that's for sure. He was delighted when he picked up that wicket. Have a look at this reaction. He knows the danger man's gone, but he knows there's 300 on the board. Magnificent stuff from Sean Pollock. His teammates know it as well. But that is a big loss to Sri Lanka. Son of Jayasuriya goes for 11. And Sri Lanka now 34 for 2.
Over. Kumar Sangakkara, averaging 31 with the bat, and a good player and in form. Was the last ball of the previous over, so he won't be facing. This is Ntini. Good stroke. Smith gets a hand on it. Well done. Saved 4, but they get 2.
Desperate dive from Graham Smith. That was a bad bounce as well, and he just wanted to just damage that shoulder a bit with that dive.
That's another beautiful stroke. What a wonderful shot. It could have been Sanat Jayasuriya, couldn't it? Couldn't actually, because he's out. What a great shot that was from Sangakkara.
7 fours in this inning so far, and just about everyone has been absolutely superb. That is a shot of a man in form. Outstanding stuff, Kumar Sangakkara.
A couple here for Sangakkara.
I think they've got an opportunity, South Africa, to really bowl a couple of well-directed short deliveries, so that particularly Sangakkara, who's in good nick as we know, Marvan Atapattu, stop looking to get on the front foot, stop looking to drive on the track, was just a little bit on the slow side, but there's some nice buzz out there from the South Africans at the moment. And Ntini, if he bowls that short ball slanting across Sangakkara, very, very hard for him to get the prawn the hook out.
I agree with you. I think it's very well worthwhile. Call a game under Hansi Cronje's captaincy in Durban against the West Indies. South Africa were bowled out for not very many, 150 or 160. And that was when the short ball wasn't allowed. The bouncer actually was not allowed. At least you're allowed one these days, as long as it's not, I don't know, higher than the head or lower than the shoulder. But nowadays, in those days, it wasn't allowed. And the instruction was as many as you like, doesn't matter about the wides, and she bowled the West Indies out for less. There's the short ball, it's in the air, catch is cried, but it's wide of the fielder.
But not by much. Certainly worth a go, that's for sure. Perfect example of how Kumar Sangakkara, one, is going to go for the short one. He's playing very well at the moment, he's feeling confident, but also the angle across makes it difficult to control it. Just falling into the gap.
Just needed that to be a little bit higher from the bowling point of view. It was a below shoulder height, not much below shoulder. Down the leg side, big appeal for a catch. Not given.
Yeah, they tried it. The South Africans tried it. It definitely came off the pad. Sean Pollock was up with a huge appeal. Marvan Atapattu was a bit bemused by that. Billy Bowden wasn't the slightest bit entertained by the work from Sean Pollock. clearly off the pad. And you could almost see from Mark Bowser that he wasn't totally convinced. He was.
So they'll be looking forward to seeing off Pollock. That is the last ball of the over. It brings up the 50 for 2. Again, an inside edge, and that one going away on the onside, not exactly where he wanted it to go. It's almost as if they've decided that this little period here to see Pollock off, they're going to be a little bit cautious. Just while they consolidate the innings here. Look, here's an outswinger that goes off the inside edge.
He's looking to try and get as much cut as possible, the inside edge. See, Atapattu has been lucky with some of those inside edges, but again, at times you believe that fortune would favour the brave. He's playing some very positive shots.
Nicely, beginning to look a little bit more comfortable. Sangakkara on 11 of 17. Never really looks in all sorts of trouble. He's got one nasty delivery so far today, one that stayed down a little bit, but he's a comfortable player. And the reason he's comfortable is because he's such a good backfoot player. Gives himself just a little bit more time.
He's got very good balance as well, and so composed. He's got the right temperament, has sort of a lot of belief in himself.
Well, he's blasted that one through the offside field. That will relieve the pressure a bit. On the up through the offside field, and the first 4 for 5 overs.
A fine shot by Atapattu. Really, it wasn't a half volley, but he's prepared to free himself and play it on the up, and also hit it into the gap, which was really of essence here.
Yes, he realises he's got to get another wicket, I think, and he doesn't want to give any 4s away. Again, steered away nicely. They'll be looking for 2 here. They should come back for the second. And what's more, no ball called. Mtini does the fielding.
Yes, this really has been an area of problem for the South Africans. The no balls and wides extras that they've been conceding in these one-day games, and so when you really look to try and defend a total which really isn't huge, it's always going to be a problem. And that's just the heel on the line, and that line belongs to the batsman, one might say.
Down the leg side, that one, and problems with it at all. So I'm just looking at that required run rate. That's beginning to drop. Now there is a nice place to watch cricket from. Have a look at the background there. They've got a monitor in their in that little box up there. Watch the replays. Looking straight down out of this beautiful stand over the top of this ground, and it's almost behind the bowler's arm. Oh, that's very well fielded. The end of the over, 59 for 2. Down the wicket, has got him all out, stumped by Miles. That's well bowled. I think he must have seen him coming, and Sangakkara absolutely stranded there. He actually abandoned the plan he had. He looked as if he was going to come all the way down the pitch. The ball pitched, really turned a long way, and that's a big wicket to South Africa.
Outstanding delivery here from Nicky Boyer, coming from over the wicket that time, and there must have been a little bit of rough as well. Sangakkara virtually walking into the shot, found himself stranded in the middle, just with no balance, which was unusual for Sangakkara, and because of easy stumping for the wicketkeeper. Of course, on side, all stumpings are never easy, but Sangakkara's gone for 14, and Sri Lanka 3 wickets down for 65.
Mahela Jayawardena is the new batsman, and he's now going to join his captain Marvan Atapattu, who's on 28.
Yes, so the Sri Lankans are in a bit of strife in this innings now, having lost that 3rd wicket of Sangakkara. Mustn't forget that Sangakkara has been the player who really has held their batting together with Atapattu. And probably South Africans now feeling that they've got some sort of sniff into this.
3. Just continuing with Nicky Boyer and the angle of the seam. We've got a couple of replays here to show you, just to show you what we're trying to get at. So just watch the difference of these two. The one on the right was the one that got the wicket. You can see that this one is pointing in that sort of direction, whereas you can't see the seam here. It's almost like that. And that's an edge running down to Ntini, who fumbles down there. So 4 runs off the over. It's 72 for 3. A little short outside off stump, that one, and it looked as if it was Gibbs there who misfielded that one. Don't often see Gibbs misfield them.
Rance Klusner's not the quickest these days, so they'll come back easily for 2. Boucher just making sure that Marvan is behind the line. Having a quick shy at the stumps. I don't know if Marvan appreciated that too much.
Was it a slam dunk? He throws it in here. Marvan's just jogging in. He's just trying to throw it onto the stumps. Marvan thought it was quite funny.
In the air, away from the fields with no. This time it's Jacques Rudolph who's herring around the boundary. But 2 more. It's very well played. Ikebier is screaming. He's very upset with that delivery because it was a very good over up until then. 5 dot balls, then a boundary off the last ball. Undid all the good work. So that's the end of the over. 4 runs from it. 25 gone. 89 for 3. And Dino, you're just thinking about when you batted.
Well bowled, young man. Don't tell me that didn't turn a bit. So Nelson has struck, and Mahela Jayawardene has gone, and the experiment with J.P. Duminy has worked.
It really had to come off at some time, the experiment, and here you are. Duminy has baffled Jayawardene. And Jayawardene goes. This really is a big break, and that coming through young Duminy. Jayawardene probably playing for spin, which really wasn't there. Oh, it did turn, in fact, and bowled him. And aren't the South Africans absolutely ecstatic here? And look at Duminy. He's done it for the South African boys team. And Jayawardene, dejected man, goes for 21. Sri Lanka 1-1 for 4.
It's beautifully struck. That'll run away for 4. His timing is perfect. Most of his career it has been. Tonight, it's been exquisite. What a player.
Certainly was a great shot by Atapattu. He's been playing like this right throughout this innings, particularly on the front foot. And this is his 49th half-century in his 218th match.
No ball called. At the end of the day, that's 3 runs. All the way. And in front of square. Here's a long chase, but it will be hauled in. Jacques Kallis, the man down at deep backward square leg. Now for the extra ball in the over. That's 6 bowled, but there was a no ball. What will this extra ball cost? It's already cost 1.
Dilshan has played some useful innings in this series, but one really cannot take anything for granted, because you really need to finish things off.
Bowled him out, it's got him a wicket, the extra 1. Well, that doesn't happen that often. Usually it costs runs. This time it gets a wicket. Jayawardene goes.
Yes, that really nipped back very quickly, and Dilshan really was late on the shot. Dilshan probably should have stayed forward, but that really came back sharply on him. As you would see, that's cut, and Dilshan really hadn't his bat anywhere near on line, and he sees his stumps just rattled. You could see Kloosner, the persistence by the captain has paid off, and aren't the South Africans very happy about it. Dilshan goes bowled by Kloosner, 126 for 5.
Upul Chandana replaces Tillakaratne Dilshan. I believe I called Jai Wardner. It would have meant he's been out twice. That's up in the air. Who's going to get under it? Nobody. Oh, well, what would have happened had that gone to hand? It might still happen. Fell almost in the middle of 3 fielders. 4, in fact.
Yes, Dumidi once again doing the trick, one might have thought, but Marvan Atapattu would have breathed a sigh of relief here. 4 fielders converging and just falling short of all of them, and you could see the exasperation in Graham Smith.
Oh boy, and that's an edge surely through to the keeper, and no. Well, there was a very clicky sort of noise there, but
I reckon might hit the stumps. There was certainly a woody noise, that's for sure. Let's have a look and see how close it got. Big smile from Mark Boucher. It did. It hit the stump. It's clept off stump as it went through. This will give us a nice view. Yeah. Can you believe it?
So that's running away down towards the boundary. Will it get there? And I think he's managed just to stop it. Kallis down there diving away at third man.
It has been referred to the third umpire. Circuit of Silver, have a quick little look at it, but I think there's too many dramas here. Very good commitment.
Chandana, whoops, closing the face again, and that's dropped. Oh dear. Well, they don't drop many catches. Well, they haven't over the years. That could be a very expensive miss. Duminy the man.
He is absolutely delivered, as Lance Kloosner. He's been working so hard, just provided the opportunity that Chandana and JP, the youngster, should have taken that. Bounced out of the last minute. Major disappointment for Lance Kloosner.
Well, that's in the air. This one has got to be out. Oh, yes, he's caught it that time. Oh, boy. Had he dropped that one, I think they would have taken him off the ground and strung him up somewhere. Well, he's managed to take it. Kloosner's got a smile on his face now. 145 for 6. And this match is still wide open.
Distress in the stands, and there's glee in the middle, that's for sure. Lance Kloosner, I think, has been superb, and it was just a matter of time before one stuck. Looking to work that over the top, but JP Duminy, well, his heart would have been pumping as it came his way. He was delighted when he caught it and threw it up a mile, but not as happy as that man. Eventually, he's got him. Lance Kloosner has been superb. And Nicky Bierre's the first to congratulate him, and suddenly he's mobbed by his teammates. So Upul Chandana goes for half a dozen, and now 145 for 6. Game on.
Justin Rose, Danny Willett, and Patrick.
Over the top he goes. Boy, that's a good shot. A pretty risky one. And a little coming together between Kloosner and Marvan Atapattu in the middle of the pitch there. Bold shot from Atapattu. He's trying to hit himself out of trouble.
Fortune favours the brave. He's realised that he's got to maybe look for the odd boundary here, and certainly wasn't a half volley from Lance Kloosner. The line was pretty good, just a little bit too straight. Marvan loves whipping it from that area. But it was good connection, and over the top of Smith and ran away. Kloosner can't believe it.
Goes straight down the ground again. He's beaten the fieldsman. That's a good shot from Atapattu. He's playing a blinder of an innings here at Dambulla. Into the fence it goes. Another 4 absolutely vital runs. Marvan Atapattu, he's playing a captain's knock, that's for sure.
brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Once again, not half volley. A little bit of puffing dust as the ball on the deck as well, but still controlling it perfectly. Sean Pollock tried to dive and stop it, couldn't do so. The Lone Ranger for Sri Lanka is playing absolutely superbly. Back-to-back boundaries now off Lance Klusner.
Boucher misses. And there's an extra one. It's all happening. So 2 runs. They've had a lot of shy at the stumps, the South Africans. They're yet to hit.
I said they needed one run out, and that is just missed by a coat advantage.
Swap that away past the man at short fine leg. That was Smith. It's Pollock now with the throw. It'll just be 2. It's gone down, and for 4. Kallis the man down there. Good hands he has. I just don't think, Dino, that he picked it up quickly enough. There were cries of catch it, and he didn't really move into the ball as quickly as he might have done. 171 for 6.
Here it is here. He's starting to run in. He didn't quite pick it up. You're right, Robin. It just bounced in front. No, he didn't drop that. And it's gone away for 4. 171 for 6. It's not over yet, folks. Trust me, a wicket here. Let me tell you, the gas truck might turn up.
Sri Lanka have won a couple of other one-day international series against South Africa, so it's not groundbreaking stuff by any manner of means. But it's just a continuance of a wonderful year of cricket for the boys in blue. I was talking earlier to Ranjit Fernando, asking if Sri Lanka were to wrap the series up now 3-0, would they change the team at all for the last 2, give a couple of other guys a run? Let's hit the stumps, otherwise it was almost certainly 4. Finding that white ball very hard to see at the moment. His answer to that, Dino, was non-committal. Yeah, it's a good opportunity to, but wow, you know, I mean, they're on this terrific roll. Why change it?
Well, there's no doubt if that went for 4, there might have been a few questions asked. You watch here, Robin. You watch. You go after him. He's looking over Cowie corner. That's the spot he's looking to go after Baye here. Over deep backward. Oh, sorry, deep mid wicket there. 13 from 26. He is not worried. He's not going to leave it to go down to the last over here.
Good work from Boucher. Very good philosophy too. You know, if you can get it over with an over to spare, do it. Don't feel that it's all so comfortable and take it to the last over. You all know what can happen in the last over of games. Smashed down to long on again. Klusner the man. He's hit the stumps at last, but he's got in easy and he's going to get an extra run. Well, there's irony for you. South Africa have had about 3 or 4 opportunities of run-outs, haven't hit the stumps by a whisker. Last they hit, extra run. Lovely bubbly.
Hesitational round. I don't think Marvan Atapattu really wanted to take this single, so there was hesitation there. There's Gibbs there. He doesn't miss that often, does he? He makes it pretty easy. And they pinch another run after that. Great lines there from Sean Pollock, who's trying to run around and get himself loose a little bit.
Just to pick up on what you were saying, normally full and straight and that sort of thing, under circumstances quite slightly different. If a side is chasing 7 or 8 and over in the last 3 or 4, then full and straight's the only way to go. I think when they're ahead of the ballpark, they're needing 10, and you're actually needing wickets. The odd length ball might go along the ground, especially on this pitch. You know, I think it's more of a mixture. Your mate, he's having a good time, isn't he?
Honestly, he does not care one bit for Atapattu to make a century here. But he's trying to finish it himself here. Down the pitch, the little waltz. Swing and a miss. But I think the bounce is not a bad idea. Particularly if he keeps charging him.
Miss.
Is that close to a wide?
Close to, yeah.
Let's have a look here. All right, I'll let it go. All right. It was close enough, though.
Yeah, batsman was saying that was about a foot inside the guideline for the umpire. Blimey, it's hard enough in being a bowler in one-day cricket. Now you want us to bowl it dead straight all the time as well.
It's a batsman's game, Robin. You should know that.
Always has been. Any form of it. Down the ground. No, it isn't. It's over. Oh, that was so neat. It's gone down. It's gone down. There couldn't have been a lot of communication there between Smith and Nantini. They almost ran into one another. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Well, the first thing I thought about is the Adams family trains. Normally, a big, huge collision was going to happen here. They're looking, they're watching. He's got it, and he's dropped it. There's so much noise around the ground. They both had commitment. They both wanted it. Watch it. He knows. I think he knows he's coming at him, and it's fallen. I can't believe it. End of the over. 184 for 6.
In the air, down the ground, and just over mid-on's head. Well, there's just something about this whole innings that has meant that South Africa weren't going to get a sniff in the end. We've had catches go down, we've had run-outs as early as the second over of the innings that a hit would have dismissed. Gunawardena. We've had other run-out opportunities, lots of extras, and that's the sin. We've had the ball hitting the outside of off stump, the bail not coming off.
And he's just called wide. It's hit the batsman's pads. It hasn't even hit. It has not even hit Boucher. That's a very poor call from umpire Wijewardena. Pitched outside leg stump, spun, and it's hit the pads of the batsman, and the umpire's called it a wide. Here it is here. Bang, just all even hit the gloves. And then the umpire hasn't even gone close to Mark Boucher. And he's muscled it down the ground for 4 just to rub some salt into. And he goes to 96. Rubs salt into that wound. And only can get 2, so I don't think he can get it.
We're having to call it 95. Because of the discrepancy between our score and that on the scoreboard. Now it's all levelled up again.
Is that a top spin forehand with 1 foot off the back leg? It was just amazing shot.
That's victory in this match, and it wraps up the series. They're still running. it's a wonderful victory for the home team. They have played the better cricket for 3 matches. South Africa fought hard today, but they will look back, Pino, at 2 games. This one and the first one, where really, and even having bowled well in the second one and batted poorly, but the first one and this one, you can put an awful lot down to lack of the basics in terms of extras. Look at the elation between these two. They've been together for an awful long time in this game, and they know what this means. Johnny Dyson, happy man too.
Yeah, look, it's a big moment for everyone there, and well played to Marvan Atapattu. Look, they deserved the victory. They deserved it, but I'll tell you what, there are some things you can talk about as a coach for Eric Simons. You can talk about commitment, you can talk about determination, but sometimes things go against you. It's called luck, and things just haven't happened. Look, honestly, there's been a fair amount of luck that went against South Africa today, more so than I've ever seen in a game in a long time. So, well done to Marvan Atapattu, 98 not out, skipper leading the way, and that's the difference between the two teams. One of their batsmen going on to make a big score, and that's what it's all about. Zoyce, he'd be happy just being married 2 days back, got some money today because they've just won the series. He'll be happy with that.
Well, it's been a tough day for you, I'm sure. Obviously, South Africa went out there today with the intention of trying to get this series, or keep the series alive. You guys must be very disappointed.
Yeah, we're very disappointed. We gave it everything today. I think, if anything, we were probably 10 runs short in the batting, and a couple of missed chances in the fielding cost us. But the guys really gave everything, committed everything. And unfortunately, I think Marvin's knock was the difference.
It was. He played very well, didn't he? It's what about the conditions here? Not a bad ground. Pitch just a little slow?
Yeah, the pitch was a bit slow, and a couple of the cracks opened up, and it started to get a bit up and down. It was really difficult to get the spinners away. There was no pace, and it was turning, so it really made scoring difficult. But again, I think Marvin played really well, and that probably won them the game.
But the other thing, I suppose, that you would have been a bit disappointed was the collapse. I mean, you were going pretty well, 140-odd for 3, and then in a matter of no time losing 7 wickets. That certainly didn't help.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, we were looking for 200, 210. That was the target after about 30 overs. That was the call that went out. And I think 200, 210 definitely would have been enough on this wicket. I'm damn sure of that. And I think even 191 would have been enough if we had held on to a couple of catches and maybe got a run out here and there. But again, that's the way things are going at the moment, and we just got to keep going, keep our heads up and move forward now.
Very easy to look at the negatives. 1 or 2 positives, though. Some good bowling. Certainly Klusner looked as if he's bowling very well. Mackay and Tini running in well.
Yeah, the bowling has been terrific, and it was nice to see Nicky bowl a bit better tonight. And the fielding has been good so far. Just a couple of catches went down tonight. So I think all in all, we just got to try and rack it up all together, and hopefully we can get a win under the belt next game and move forward from there.
People talk about dead matches and not mattering much, but that isn't the case, is it? The next 2 matches, you guys are going to be giving it everything.
No, they certainly matter for us, and we've got to get our confidence up. We've got to get some wins under the belt, especially moving on to the ICC champs. It's a big tournament for us, and a couple of wins, will do us some good.
Right, well, good luck in the next 2. Graham Smith, understandably a little bit disappointed as a result of that loss today. Righto, well, now it's time to move on to the Janashakti Man of the Match. And it's going to be presented by Mr. Ravan Vikramanatne. And there's a cash prize here of US $1,000. And, of course, it is going to go to the winning captain, also the Man of the Match, Marvan Atapattu. Well, there we are, Marvan Atapattu, very well done today. You must have taken a lot of pleasure out of that innings.
Yes, I thought, we always had the plan to bat right throughout the innings, one batsman to bat right throughout the innings, and happened to be me today. And the guys batted around me and got the total we wanted.
Always a bit of pleasure in playing a captain's innings, I'm sure. Good victory, though. This South African side today were very keen to try and get one back on you guys. Didn't happen?
I'm sure they were under pressure coming into this game, but this is the only chance they have to win the series. They got to win from here till the end. of course, we were guarding ourselves against complacency going into this game, and it worked for us.